go pan it down, they score! It's Capo on cue! Beniers with a tough angle, he scores! Eddie Beniers with pinpoint accuracy! Short-handed, Chandler Stevenson, Evans, he scores! Riker Evans with a short-handed goal. To the slot, they score! Jared McCann, the Kraken off and running. They score! It looks like Bobby McMahon will get it, his first as a member of the Seattle Kraken.
The Kraken are entering the final month of the regular season, and the playoffs are within reach, but it will be a race to the finish. Seattle still has a shot at finishing in the top 3 of the Pacific Division, but the Kraken are also among 5 teams fighting for that final wild card spot. Welcome to kraken-home-ice. In this episode, we're getting to know the newest member of the team, Bobby McMahon. He tells us about his transition from Toronto and how he's settling in Seattle. And we're hearing from a mic'd-up Brandon Montour, how his personality shows both on and off the ice. Plus, hockey fans make their love for Seattle permanent. The stories behind the tattoos of the Kraken faithful. The Kraken faced Nashville on Tuesday. Lane Lambert wanted more out of this line, and they delivered in the opening minutes. Berkeley Catton, Shane Wright, and Capo Kakko. This Kakko goal put Seattle up 1-0. The Kraken make it 2-0 midway through the period. Matty Beniers from a tough angle. He had the Gordie Howe hat trick, a goal, an assist, and a fight. Second period, the Predators cut the lead to 2-1. Then some nice passing here, and former T-Bird Reed Schaefer knocks it past Joey Decord to lock it up at 2-2. Best goal of the game. Ryan Ufko goes right through the Kraken defense and then tucks the puck around Decord for his first NHL goal. And that proves to be the difference. Nashville adds an empty netter and wins it 4-2. The Kraken face the NHL's best team, Colorado, Thursday at CPA. The Avs strike first. Marty Necas beats Joey Decord for a 1-0 lead. Just over a minute left in the opening period, and Nicholas Waugh is in the right place at the right time. Avs up 3-0 after 1. Joey Decord gets pulled. Second period, Avs on a power play. Chandler Stevenson steals the puck, shows some patience. Here comes Riker Evans, and he slings it past Scott Wedgwood to cut the lead to 3-1. With Philip Grubauer now in goal for the Kraken, he cannot catch up to this redirection by Nazem Kadri. The Avs go on to beat the Kraken 5-1. The message from the coaching staff at this point in the season is the team needs more scoring. And at the NHL trade deadline, Seattle acquired possibly someone who can help them out. Bobby McMahon, a forward from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Brianna Vasquez talked to the newest member of the Kraken.
It's been great. You guys have been super welcoming, staff's been welcoming. Just excited to get out on the ice and play some games.
Bobby McMahon came to Seattle ready to play. He has 19 goals and 13 assists over 60 games in Toronto this season. But Bobby's Kraken debut was delayed because of visa paperwork. In the meantime, his new teammates made sure he felt welcome.
Just trying to explore, find some coffee shops, find some restaurants, places to eat, places to go, get settled a little bit, a little Target run to get the apartment set up a little bit. But yeah, guys have been good at pointing me in the right direction.
It's been a transition made easier with a familiar face. Lane Lambert coached McMahon last year in Toronto.
It definitely helps with feeling comfortable, and when you feel comfortable, you can play your game to that much better of a level. So just trying to continually learn systems, learn the way these guys are playing, and try and get up to speed.
You know, he can provide us with some offense and certainly fill in on a top 6 role.
Seattle is Bobby's second NHL team. The 29-year-old didn't have a so-called normal road to the league. McMahon went undrafted, then played 4 seasons at Colgate University. After a stint with AHL Toronto Marlies, he was signed by the Maple Leafs in 22.
It was a place that I kind of grew my pro career, started in the American League, and then tried to work my way up in that system. And I was able to do that, so I'm super thankful that they were able to develop me.
Bobby sees the move to Seattle as a fresh start.
But it's also nice to move to a new spot. It helps you stay away from being stagnant or complacent. I've been feeling energized and excited to be here.
Not to be confused with fellow forward Jared McCann, McMahon is already feeling at home here in Seattle. The two actually have lockers next to each other. Bobby is ready to fight for a playoff spot with his new team.
It's cool to jump right into that when we're in a fight here to try and make sure we solidify a spot in the playoffs, and it's going to be a fight all the way to the end.
Bobby's time at Colgate helped shape him into the pro he is today.
School teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you socially kind of how to interact with people from different places, different cultures coming from different areas, being able to work great as a team, and then also like time management is a massive thing.
Spending 4 years in college gave Bobby the opportunity to cultivate other interests. So, in addition to majoring in economics, he minored in theater. Not something you hear every day for a hockey player.
I was in like 3 plays in school. My thesis was a traveling play through a hotel. That was pretty cool. Did a children's theater play. That was fun.
Nowadays, Bobby still tries to keep up with his hobbies.
I like to golf a lot, a little bit of reading, usually nonfiction. Try and pull things from books, try and learn about myself, learn about philosophy, things like that.
Kraken forward Jaden Schwartz is out indefinitely after a scary moment when the Kraken were playing the Senators on March 7th. With 45 seconds left in the first period, Schwartz got hit in the face by Nick Cousins' skate. Ellie Tolvanen laid a hit on Cousins and he spun awkwardly with both of his skates coming up, one of them hitting Schwartz. Head coach Lane Lambert says Schwartz is on the road to recovery and is glad nothing worse happened.
You know, it's going to take some time, but he will. And, thank goodness for that. The fact that the skate, hit him flat as opposed to, potentially the other way was, we were all real thankful for that.
After being on long-term injured reserve since November, goaltender Matt Murray is back. The Kraken activated him from IR earlier this week. He got injured against the Sharks back on November 15th. Murray has appeared in 5 games for Seattle this season. Hockey players are known for chirping each other on the ice. Brandon Montour is known for having his fun. Here's Monty mic'd up.
Come on now. Oh, hey! Hey, good start! Good tune. Oh! Ah! Keep forgetting you're mic'd up. I actually forgot until you said that too. Bless you. Oh, nice hit, baby, nice hit. Come on, no. Fire. Oh, who are you pointing at? Should I go for a lap? Here I come. Should I go for a lap, boys? They cut me out. Should I go for a lap, boys?
Great work.
What are you doing over there?
Grabbing my dad's hat.
What kind of haircut does 42 have over there? Take a peek at his hairdo when you get a chance.
Mahura is such a nerd.
Worst ever.
More to come on kraken-home-ice. From the rink to the ballroom, we asked the players which of their teammates would they want to see on Dancing with the Stars. Plus, we're talking playoff race and having a shift in mentality with head coach Lane Lambert.
It's a real good experience for them to get this this type of level. I guess everything's ramped up.
With the trade deadline passed, the roster is set, and that means time for the team photo. On Wednesday, the entire team, along with coaches, administrators, and Bowie, took a picture. Some people went for a serious face, while others had big smiles. With the playoff race so tight, head coach Lane Lambert has talked about a certain mentality it takes, game in and game out, to stay in the hunt for the postseason. We asked Lane what it takes to develop that kind of mentality.
Just their experience a little bit. You know, that's where we like to have our veteran guys show our younger guys. We have younger guys on our team right now, and a number of them that, you know, really haven't been in this situation this late in the season, so to speak. So, you know, it's a real good experience for them to get this this type of, you know, level, I guess. Everything's ramped up, and, you know, with the season winding down and 19 games left at this point here, you know, things are changing, and so there's an experience level to it, and more as you go along, as a first-year guy, me being a first-year guy years and years ago, you see the level, and you have to continue to ramp your level up on a daily basis, so it's a good experience for everyone.
Yeah, on a daily basis. So when you go into games and you build a 2-0 lead or a 3-goal lead or something, is part of that mentality learning how to put teams away and not rest?
It is, you know, and I've talked about it all year long. The league is very dangerous. 2-goal leads, 3-goal leads are not, they're not safe at all. St. Louis was leading the Islanders, you know, the other night 3-0 and lost 4-3. And there's too much offense in the league right now, too much skill in the league right now to not continue to push forward. And I thought in the Nashville game, I thought we had plenty of opportunities. We played a good hockey game. We probably win that game 8 or 9 times out of 10. But, you know, we couldn't quite get to the 3rd goal, and they came back and beat us. And, you know, you have to have a killer instinct.
Let's stay with that Nashville game. You mentioned conditioning after that one, and at this point in the season, how much can a player or players develop and improve their conditioning? Because sometimes it's the team that out-hustles the talent that wins the game.
You know, there's a fine line, especially at this point in the season when you're into the games, the 60s, of, you know, maintaining, increasing, and also resting. You know, at this point in time in the season, you know, I think that everybody's in tip-top shape, and, you know, as we go along here, and we have a stretch here right now where we're playing 7 games in 12 days, rest then becomes the weapon. So there's a fine line and a fine balancing act between, you know, what is necessary and what isn't, but for the most part, everybody's in top shape.
I'll ask you this, Matty Beniers got in his first NHL fight earlier in the week against Nashville.
And he's going to go. Matty dropping the gloves.
You know, throughout your career, I seem to remember it, but you can help me out a lot more. Do teammates help teammates learn how to fight, and or do guys maybe do it off the ice somewhere else and learn how to fight?
There's been a lot of that over the years, for sure. You know, certainly back, you know, in the days when I played, there was, you know, guys taking boxing lessons and, you know, working with the tough guys in terms of, you know, maybe if you weren't a fighter, you were always going to get thrust into a fight in the 1980s, so you had to figure it out. You know, there's no question that that guys work on that. You know, and most recently, and I won't mention where, but over the last, you know, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, you know, there's been guys teaching other guys to fight on teams that I've coached.
It seems like the natural thing to do. I mean, if I'm on a team of 20-something guys and there's 2 good fighters, like, hey man, can you give me a few tips?
100%, yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, right. I mean, you never know when your number's going to get called, and I got to give Matty credit. I mean, he saw the shot on McCann and jumped right in, and maybe outweighed by 20 or 30 pounds, but it didn't matter to him.
No, and that's the, you know, for me, that's the culture we're creating here is, you know, care about each other, play for each other, and it was good to see him jump in there like that. And we've had, you know, 2 or 3 of those occasions this year where that's happened, and you know, we have to continue with that mentality.
Hockey is the #1 talent for the players on the Kraken, but what if they had some dancing skills? In this week's shootout, we asked the players who they would nominate to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars, Matty, because he's got quick feet. I think he'd be moving on the floor nice. I don't think there's too many good moves on this team, but I'd say Riker, probably just because he'd be the worst.
Dancing with the Stars. Probably Cale Fleury.
Jamie Alexiak, because he's huge, and I think it'd be funny watching him up there.
Oh, jeez. I'd say probably Wentz. I think he's a good skater. He's got some quick feet. I feel like he'd be able to to do pretty well in that, so I'll go with him.
Probably Lindgren. No, probably Lars. I've seen him dance a couple times. It's pretty smooth. He's pretty good.
Fans have many ways to show support for their teams, from jerseys to hats to other merchandise. Next on Kraken-home-ice, the fans who decided to make their dedication to the deep permanent, including one fan who got tattooed for the very first time.
Seattle sports over everything, so this is pretty blessing that it's my first tattoo here for the Kraken. It didn't hurt. It wasn't bad at all.
Deep ink is the storytelling of the Kraken players and broadcasters' tattoos. What goes into the process of getting those tattoos, what they mean, and what they commemorate. Brianna has more.
That's right, this time the focus was the fans. Whether they already had a Kraken tattoo or were getting a brand new one, fans could come share their own stories. And one fan even got their very first tattoo. A tattoo tells a story. And for the Kraken fans who've inked their dedication, every piece comes with its own unique tale.
I came with coworkers and they said if any of us won, they were like, I had to get the tattoo. So I said, of course, and Seattle sports over everything. So this is pretty blessing that it's my first tattoo here for the Kraken.
Just to honor starting to play hockey. There was that aspect of just that little kind of goony kind of guy there on his skates. I'm like, yeah, that's a good communicator too.
I love the way you can tell a story through a tattoo. And I like the Kraken and I like hockey, so it was a win-win.
I let my kids pick it at the table. I let them pick which one to get it, and so that's even more memorable.
Definitely the coolest one. That's kind of how I would like to play hockey, but not quite. But yeah, it was just a really cool one, and ferocious, and yeah.
Same as the coolest one, and yeah, since I play, it felt like it just was a natural fit as well.
Local tattoo artists Bailey Roberts and Andy Davis worked their magic and created a special Kraken hockey flash sheet that fans could choose from. A few people got additions to their growing collections, while one fan decided it was time for his very first.
It didn't hurt. It wasn't bad at all. Yeah, he's a magician. Like, it didn't hurt. The ladies tried to scare me and say it would hurt, but it felt fine. It just represents the team. I wanted it to be special, and I love the Kraken, so I definitely wanted that.
Longtime friends Kenny and Tyler got to share in this moment together.
I think it started with friends and fantasy football, and slowly morphed into we just started playing hockey together like 4 years ago. And he skates better, I score more points.
And their matching tattoos were allegedly unintentional.
But we're gonna have to explain why it's not to our friends for sure.
For Erica Martinez, her tattoo was for a special moment with her kids.
So it's been 8 years since I've been able to have them all together. You know, I've been able to bring my youngest son into hockey, and he's learning to skate and wants to be a hockey player. And so he's my little hockey buddy for life, and so we're able to remember that with the tattoo with all of us here.
Every tattoo might have a different backstory, but proves hockey is a connector.
It's really exciting. Having the touring starts here too has been fantastic. It's just been a whole new world to kind of break into.
Absolutely, the community and seeing the city embrace it.
Agree, yeah, the city embrace it, which is great. And just since I play it too, it's like very cool to like see it at a higher level than I play it.
How everybody just comes together for the love of the game, and that's what I like about it, is just everybody's rooting for them and waiting for that fight.
I loved it. I have everything, my car's decked out, like I have a little buoy in the dash.
I play hockey, my daughter plays hockey, and so I spent 23 years in Alaska, and when I moved down here 3 years ago, this was my team. I actually play for a disabled veteran hockey team that's going to nationals this year, so this is awesome just to have the tattoo now.
I was honestly impressed. No tears and no curse words, just a lot of really happy Kraken fans.
And brave Kraken fans.
Very brave.
They got a lot of courage. I don't think I want any part of that, that's for sure. All right, coming up next on Kraken-home-ice. Hockey continues to grow, especially when it comes to the interest and involvement of girls and women in the sport. Ahead on Kraken-home-ice, a milestone just reached in USA hockey.
It's something that, I don't take lightly. Just, super honored for, people and little girls to look up to me and, hopefully believe in themselves that they can one day be here.
Plus, we're hearing from the artist behind the Women in Hockey specialty jersey design. She tells us about the women who support and inspire her. The Kraken celebrated women in hockey on Tuesday. It was a night dedicated to the female change makers in the league and in our community. From assistant coach Jessica Campbell to broadcasters Piper Shaw and Allison Lucan to the women behind the scenes of the Kraken organization, the night honored their constant contributions to the game of hockey. The celebration also included a specialty jersey and design by local artist Dasha Medvedeva. She moved to West Seattle from Russia in 2001. Her artwork is inspired by the strong and resilient women in her life.
Roots hold the ground together all around us, but I also realize that in my life and a lot of people that I know, the women in their life, especially if you're in an immigrant or a multicultural family, the women are literally holding together. So it just came to me all at once. I did a few iterations, but this is the design I went for right away, and I wanted something a little dark, hence like the dark brown of the tree and little pops of pink there. And all the women in my life have just encouraged me to keep being that kind of weird, hyper person that draws growing, veiny, thorny things like the common thread design I created, and they've never once ever told me to tone it down. Yeah, I'm thankful for them every day.
Girls and women in hockey have reached a big milestone. Last week, USA Hockey welcomed its 100,000th female athlete of the 2025-26 season. It's the most female hockey players the organization has ever registered. Since women's hockey was first played in the Olympic Winter Games in 1998, the number of girls and women's players in the U.S. has grown from around 28,000 to more than 100,000. Seattle Torrent and Team USA gold medalist Hannah Bilka is very proud of the growth she has seen in women's hockey.
You have everyone watching the Olympics, so I think it's a perfect time for people to kind of get inspired. That's how I started hockey, was watching the 2014 Olympics, and I'm from Texas, so not a lot of women's hockey, but I'm trying to inspire those places that might not have a lot of hockey or a popular area. So it's really just trying to inspire the next generation.
And Hannah's message to anyone interested in playing hockey:
you don't know until you try, and it's a lot of fun. Scoring goals is a lot of fun. Being with your teammates, I think it's really different than any other sport. Everything about it is a lot of fun, so you should try it.
Coming up at Climate Pledge Arena, Conan Gray brings the Wishbone World Tour to Seattle on Monday. And on Tuesday, the Kraken play Tampa Bay. It's their last home game for the month of March. And what a road trip that will be to finish up the month. 6 games that will take the Kraken to the East Coast, back through the Midwest, and then in Edmonton to wrap up the trip against the Oilers. Nothing will come easy for this Kraken team down the stretch. And that'll do it for this episode of Kraken Home Ice. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.